I think we should do your guys' tournament report, and then we should finish with the challenges.
I'm cool with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Let's move on to Hippo and I played in a Jesus Christ.
I didn't know we could play in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. But what is up, Pauper fam? We're back for episode 3. They said it couldn't be done. Here we are doing it. We got a few little mini topics going on today, but I'm your host, Cameron Schindler. I am joined today, as always, by Thomas Gunn. How you doing?
In the arms of the angel. I'm not good. We're going to talk about it, but
Okay.
I'm not okay.
I bet we will. Hippopotamus, how you doing, James?
I'm doing fantastic.
I got a tear in my but our mini topics, we're going to talk about the Swift Spear ban, the challenges from December 9th and 10th, and Hippo and I played some Pauper this weekend at our locals and had some fun playing Pauper. So let's just go into the big thing, the Monastery Swift Spear ban. What happened?
Well, they got her. They got my girl. They got her real good. She got the axe.
Oh, you're a Swift Spear fan? I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it turns out I like attacking on turn 1. It's pretty good. No, it just I feel like this has kind of been some time coming. I mean, Swift Spear was printed originally at uncommon for a reason, at least in that draft set. Like it's a very strong card. It promotes a lot of the stuff that Red was already doing and does it very well, and I think it just became a really overwhelming force in the metagame. And I know the Pauper committee, headed up by Gavin Verhey, put out a video explaining a lot of things as well.
That's super cool too, because even like other Magic spaces too, they're talking about the modern bans and stuff like that, and everyone was like, yeah, I'm super jealous of the Pauper community because like you can see how much the people love the format, because like Gavin and the other people on the panel are just like, they put out this huge article that had more words than the other formats combined, and then we got our own video too, so it's just really cool how much they care.
Yeah, I agree. So to break down kind of the idea and to recap of what all of that entailed, the Pauper Format Panel's concern for having Swift Spear in the format was having all these like super powerful red decks. They tend to make everyone else in the format have to take up a lot of their sideboard slots to just be able to combat this deck to any reasonable degree, and still you may still lose to it. So they want to see more diversity in what the metagame looks like, and your sideboard options available to you. Having more modal cards is always better than just having something very narrow, like in this instance, like a blue elemental blast. If your deck's full of, or your sideboard is full of 8 blue blasts, that's not particularly a healthy looking metagame, I don't think. So they just want to see some more diversity in the metagame, which I agree, this is the card that needed to go if that was the case.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, especially when it's been so prevalent, and it's been so, I mean, like we talked about last episode, it was the most played deck, I believe, by a decent margin at Paupergeddon, and everyone had to come prepared, and thankfully most people did. It only had 1 copy in top 8, and I think 1 or 2 copies in top 16. And other decks definitely had, I think, a better performance overall, but it was still there. It's still present, and it'll be interesting to see how it develops moving forward.
And like not even like sideboard mutations, but like main deck too. Like Gardens moved away from Snuff Out for Defile, because it's like I don't want to be paying 4 life for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just even stuff like that. They also mentioned they, as in the Pauper panel, mentioned speed of the format, and I think it did like turn up the format by half a peg, and you really noticed it. Like getting in there for 1 on turn 1, you do notice it.
Yeah, and that card stacks up better than any other creature in any of these red decks. It pushes out so much damage across a game.
And I'm not really a mono red player, so I'd leave that to, is the deck still going to be playable?
I think so. I think they can lean, or I should say I think we can lean more into the artifact synergies even more, because we just got the new Goblin Tomb Raider, and that's already shown that it's a real card in the format. And so I think if we're leaning even more into the Koldatha rebirth side of things, which most decks already were, but pulling a little bit away from burn and leading into the artifacts, I think will be I mean, all the cards they're all still there. We got Synthesizer, we have, you know, the Epicure Koldatha shell, we now have Tomb Raider, you can play Fire Blasts, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, like these are all good cards. Like you can do the pingers and the Ren's Resolve things as well. So it's still a strong deck. It's still going to be a huge player in the metagame. I think that this is just a nice way to bring it back a peg, like knock it a peg down and help it like play in the space in a more reasonable way with the other decks, I think.
So I do think it is always a good tell for any Magic format, not even just Pauper itself included, but where a red deck is one of the better decks that you can be playing is a sign of a healthy metagame for the most part, because it means not any of the big control decks are too powerful. Yes. I think or is really the kind of the key here. So having an aggressive deck like this is still good to have in the format, but we can just knock it down a little bit and it still be a reasonable thing to have in the format.
I like that point a lot too, about like when an aggro deck is like one of the better decks, you know, the format's healthy because no one's going super over the top and like not caring about the board state. Like, cool, I'm just gonna combo kill you on turn 3. I mean, some decks have the nuts and could do that, but it's like very far and few you actually get killed on turn 3 from a combo.
I would agree. And this also, again, keeps things in check for some of these like bigger decks, as you said, so they don't go over top of each other. So yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of mid-range fight in some of these like these like black decks basically, and then but the format's not quite slow enough for something like the like Flickertron to be like an overwhelming presence in the metagame. The format's just fast enough to keep something like that from being a true terror to the format.
Do y'all agree with the ban then, for the most part?
I mean, I feel like I'm super biased, but I think it's a fine choice. When they first announced or spoiled that Swiftspear was going to be downshifted to common, it kind of blew my mind. Like that, I never thought that would be a part of the Pauper format. I guess it made sense in that limited format, it specifically in its own like isolated way. But I knew immediately, like, oh, okay, I get to bust out my Swift Spears from whatever deck box I have them in, and they're just gonna slot right into the red deck, and they're gonna be really, really good. So I'm very biased, but I think that this is a fine choice. I think all the points that you guys said make sense. Everything they said in the video makes sense, and I'm cool with it. Like it will give me more of an opportunity to explore other options as well within the red deck and otherwise. I'm also kind of looking at these glitters decks. These glitters decks are looking pretty sweet.
In the ban announcement, in the article, they did mention the affinity too, and like they said they talked about the bans for like a long time on that, and they decided to leave all that glitters in the format because it's disruptible by not just like artifact removal but creature removal too, hitting whatever you're suiting all that glitters up on. And they also talked about hitting the artifact lands, either the original
Mirrodin ones.
Thank you.
Yes.
The original Mirrodin ones. And I'm glad they didn't do that because I think it's part of Pauper's charm.
I agree. That's always been a staple of the Pauper format. I think, again, there's a skeleton of the format. And I'll attest to some legacy a little bit. People are never going to get a Brainstorm. Like, Brainstorm, Force of Will, and Days are just, that is a legacy, like, blueprint. That's just how the format works. I think the same can be applied here. I think having artifact lands is just kind of going to be a part of the format that I personally do not ever think should really go away.
They did talk about banning the bridges too, which I thought was interesting. I'm glad they didn't go that direction too, because I think they add, again, a lot of charm to the format that you don't get these like slow, grindy affinity decks or really fast kill you affinity decks in other formats.
I think another point to that is I think if you have none of the like indestructible lands, I think that actually knocks up like Panza quite a bit, because that is a natural way to beat those like Panza style decks, is to have these lands they can't do anything with. And because nobody here particularly likes having their lands blown up. I don't know about you, but I think having just a natural like format, like part of the format being those lands that are just good against that kind of thing is also pretty good. I think the artifact lands overall are just they should be around to stay. Like, I don't think there's any reason for them to go away.
I think you can sideboard tech for that too. Like you can bring in your All That Dust is. Bring your All That Dust, kids.
Dust
Dust
to dust.
Oh, what is All That?
All is dust.
Oh, that's not.
That's not legal in Pauper.
That's a big 7-mana card there, friend.
Bring your dust to dust. It's not
And
safe.
all his dust does not take care of those lands either.
It's true. It actually does the opposite. It keeps them in play. Some closing remarks. They are, of course, going to keep an eye on, make sure the other top decks of the format are also not too strong going towards the future. They're going to definitely, as much as they paid attention in this particular one, and I definitely foresee them paying a lot of attention in the future to the health of the format and listening to players, because they definitely think they did that very well here and articulated it very well.
All right, Hippo and I played in our Pauper locals this month. I played Coggate's. Hippo, what did you play?
I played mostly the 75 that won Paupergeddon. I just wanted to see how absolutely disgusting it was.
I was gonna play that, but my Obsidian and Crimson Acolytes didn't come in the mail, and I checked TCG Player. They got canceled. I ordered it and they canceled the order.
Oh, no.
So I had to rebuy them for more money.
Boo.
Yeah, big boo.
That is the only reason that I got to play that deck, is because my Obsidian Acolytes did come in the mail.
I bet they accidentally sold them to both of us.
Maybe.
Do you want to talk about your tournament report first?
Yeah, so we can go over each round that I had. Round one, I played basically a mirror match. I played against the blue-white Art Affinity Gifts or Glitters deck. I won 2-0. I won through a Dust to Dust in game 2.
Wow.
It didn't really do anything. Springleaf Drum, it worked its magic. It kept me in. I had one land at the end of the game and still won. So yeah, Springleaf Drum was busted in that match. Round two, my opponent was on a little bit of a brew. They were playing some mono black goblin burn thing. It was kind of cool. They were paying prowl cost for cards, and it was kind of sweet. And they were playing Vampire's Kiss. That card is actually very strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I beat them 2-0. Round three, I played against our beloved Gardens deck. This matchup was very, very long. My opponent and I went to time, but in the end, they actually beat me 1-0. We did go to time. We our 5 turns were up, and they had neither of us had progressed the game results. So my opponent won 1-0 in the Gardens matchup.
I was watching that last one, the one that went to time, and I remember you had the Monarch, you were drawing, you just weren't really hitting too much after it, and I did see like a really good Drown in Sorrow from them that just kind of like wiped up everything, like your Obsidian Acolyte and stuff like that, just all gone.
Yeah, I did have a lot of equity in that game by having like double Obsidian Acolyte and a Standard Bearer in play, and that like nuked the game in my favor for quite a while. Like I wasn't ever out of the game. Like I was able to block a troll for 10 plus turns, and it was obscene.
I saw a little bit of
that was very, very, very good. And then I did get hit by a good Drown in Sorrow. It did get me.
You had that Monarch for, it looked like a while. I think
we actually we swapped back and forth on the Monarch for quite a bit, but but that deck's designed to kill a bunch of creatures, so I lost. Drown in Sorrow is really good against my sideboard plan of a bunch of X1s.
What did they board in against you? Was it Drown in Sorrow?
I believe it was the Drown in Sorrow, and I think they boarded in Duress as well.
Okay, cool.
And then my round 5, I played against the more traditional.
Round 4?
That was my round 3 opponent.
Yeah.
My round 4 opponent was playing traditional like Grixis Affinity. I had an absolutely disgusting turn 3 where I was able to Synthesizer into 2 Frogmite, into Thoughtcast, into Mirror Enforcer. This was a very, very gross turn.
So did you play Synth Bounce of Glitter?
No, I synthesized, flipped over a Mirror Enforcer, played Frog, Thoughtcast, drew 2 cards. Then I was able to cast I think I found a 0-drop and was able to cast the Mirror Enforcer on the same turn. I was like, well, that was really, really, really disgusting. They didn't really do a whole lot. Their removal spell in their deck is like Tithing Blade, which is really slow against my Ornithopter deck.
Okay, I'll sack a 0-2.
I was like, yeah, I'll sack my 0-2. That's totally fine. I was able to draw with the only other Jeskai Glitters player in the last round to lock up top 8. And as far as the top 8 match was concerned, I was on the play in the 4th seed against the 5th seed, playing Coggates. We did go to 3 games. Game 1, I kind of just petered out and didn't really do anything. And then game 3, my Coggates opponent kind of drew a bunch of lands in a row and also really didn't do a whole lot. He dug a lot, but he didn't really end up finding much, so I was able to take it down. And then we ended up splitting top 4.
Walking away with some packs.
I did walk away with a bunch of packies.
Heck yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
How did you feel about the deck overall?
I think the deck is very good. I think the reason to play that deck is because it gets to play Synthesizer. I think that is absolutely the best card in that deck. I do not think it's particularly close. I think Synthesizer might be better than Glitters. Yes, Glitters is your like one-shot kill, but I think Synthesizer is the reason to play that deck. It overperformed all day long.
Wow.
All day long.
Did the power go out during any of your matches?
It went out right after my top 8 match.
I remember someone was holding the flashlight for somebody for like 30 seconds and the power went out because we had some bad weather come our way, but everyone's okay, so that's good.
So Cameron, how did your day go?
My day went pretty good. I played Coggates since we were talking about that, and definitely not the best field for Coggates because do you know how many people were playing the Glitters Affinity deck?
Yes, I actually have a number for you. It was 8 of the 26 people were playing some variation of Glitters.
Dope.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was
That's
there.
Actually, for 1 second, real quick, I do want to shout out, there is a person in our community who does these amazing reports at the end of the day. He breaks down every single deck that was in the room and breaks down the top 8 matches. His name is Mark Demumbrian. Awesome dude. Love him for those little tournament reports.
Yeah, we love Mark. I
Awesome.
hope Mark finds this podcast.
Was he playing Slivers again?
No, he was actually on Blue Light Glitters.
Excellent.
Let's go, Mark.
Excellent.
And no, he is great, and he'll stick around even if he is out of top 8. He sticks around, watches everything out, gets everything written down, makes a sick like Facebook post in our local group. So shout out to Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing Coggates, nothing like crazy deviation, just kind of standard blue-white list. I was playing the red blast in my sideboard, and I had my 5 blue blast for the 1 mono red player out of 20-something people that were there.
Because I wasn't there.
Exactly. But round 1, I played against a person that was on Jeskai Ephemerate. And so it was that kind of, they played the Indestructible Bridges, played the Cleansing Wildfires. I ended up winning that one 2-0. The first game, I think they ended up ramping with their Cleansing Wildfire, and it was like the pretty early turn, so like can't blame them there. And they drew a few cards off Augur Bolus, but on I think that was the other game. I think it was just Sacred Cat getting pumped up by Basilisk Gate is what ended up getting me there, and I think I finished them off some flyers. Game 2, they tapped out on their turn 4, so I untapped, played my 4th land untapped, and then I slammed a Guardian of the Guild pack. And the protection from monocolored is a house. And so just every turn after that, okay, pump gate swing, pump gate swing, pump gate swing. And they had one turn where I think they ended up ephemerating on my instep a Augur Bolus, ephemerating it again on their turn, casting a Brainstorm, casting another Augur Bolus, and with 1 mana left up, they found their Cleansing Wildfire, but they had 1 mana left up, so they couldn't destroy my Basilisk Gate.
Ooh.
And so I got that.
Rough.
It was kind of a feel bad there, and they probably saw so many cards too. Round 2, I played against some classic elves, and going into that match, I knew what they were playing because I watched them demolish our father. And
Nice.
I was thinking, like, how do I beat elves in my deck? Like, I have I'm not playing the Suffocating Flames or anything. Then I remember Prismatic Strands is a house, so Prismatic Strands just carried me both games. And I don't know if it was just Guardian sneaking in there or Flyer sneaking in there to close it out.
I doubt it was a flyer. The deck does play the 1 reach creature.
Yeah.
That was Jasper Sentinel or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. Then round 3, I ran into somebody who made the top 8. They were playing the blue-white glitters deck, and it was not particularly close. That felt like a very uphill battle. Like, I think in the game plan, if you're on Coggates, is just to try to flood the game early with like Sacred Cats and stuff, and Dawnbringer Cleric is a good 1/3 that can block with 2/2s. Because they didn't even have the nuts game 1. They just kind of beat the crap out of me with 3 Frogmites and 2 Mirror Enforcers, and it's like, I can't really do anything, okay? And I'm like dead to all that glitters eventually. And game 2, I'm not quite sure what happened, but they killed me. Then round 4, I was playing against a really cool white-black enchantment deck. So they're using a card from Throne of Eldraines. It's 2 mana enchantment when ETBs make a 2/2 knight, and when the enchantment leaves the battlefield, you scry 2.
It's from Wilds of Eldraine.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Throne.
Oh, same thing. But
Sure, one of those Eldraine sets.
But they had some cool enchantment synergies going on. It was really grindy. Game 2, they played this 1 mana enchantment. When it ETB'd, I discarded a card and lost 3 life.
2 life.
2 life.
Also from Wilds of Eldraine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopeless Nightmares.
Yes.
They had 2 of them. I mulled the 5, and they had 2 of them, and they drew Sky Shroud Poacher. Why can't I think of that card's name?
Core Skyfisher?
Thank you. What is Sky Shroud?
What
Poacher?
is Sky Shroud Poacher?
Sky Shroud Ranger is, I think, maybe the card you're thinking of, which is a green card.
Well, I'm definitely thinking of Core Skyfisher, but they drew. So they ended up making me discard 3 cards, and I'm mold a 5. And they told me after, they're like, "Yeah, I kept like 5 lands in 2 of these." And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
No way.
And so then I came back game 3. Similar story. Turns out Guardian of the Guildpack's really good. Then round 5, I was able to ID into the top 8, where my first round opponent was the guy who beat up on me on the Swiss. And same thing, it didn't really feel close. Game 2, he got me game 1. In game 2, we kind of got in a board stall. We both had a standard bearer into play. And so my Basilisk Gate can only pump my standard bearer, and then all that glitters was on his standard bearer, so he's coming in with that standard bearer, and I'm just kind of chumping, and I don't know, my prismatic strands are gone, but I was just trying to make like good blocks the best I could, and try to sneak in there with the flyer on the crackback when I could. So I'd chump, I'd sneak in there for 2 with the Glinthawk, and then he finally found a Kinko Artificer, and that was kind of like GG's from there. Then it just went a few more turns of stalling, and I slowly died. But it was fun. Top 8, got some packs. It was great. And one of the workers at the LGS, I was joking around with her. I'm like, "Oh, I get an extra promo pack, right?" And she gave me an extra promo pack, and it had an Agatha Soul Cauldron in it.
No way.
I am the winner.
That's pretty sick. Would you make any changes to Coggates moving forward?
4 Dust to Dust main.
In the main?
No, I'm kidding. But
Oh, okay.
I Dust to Dust in both those glitters games. I dusted my opponent, like the post board games, and it was irrelevant. The deck can win on 1 or 2 mana. Like, the deck is just good, and it's awkward because I'm like, man, am I dusting a Frogmite here? I'm like, I'm for sure hitting that Springleaf Drum. And like, do I hit? He has 2 lands. Do I hit one of the lands, or do I hit that like Mirror Enforcer or Frogmite that's clocking me?
Yeah. So as I said, like my round 1 opponent, yeah, they dusted me, put me on 1 land for the rest of the game, and it did not matter.
No.
Same thing again happened in top 8, and my think game 3, I got dusted and cast into the fired, and it did not matter.
It's crazy. Stone raining the deck 3 times. It's just
And
like,
it still did not matter.
Not
because
enough.
The deck has such a high velocity of cards between, I know on the Jeskai side, between Thoughtcast and a synthesizer. Yeah, you're not gonna run out. Like, running out of gas is like so hard to do.
And the blue light version plays of 1 mine too, so it's
Yeah, because it has the ninja that goes with it. That deck is more likely to draw. Is better against, I think, the Stone Rain than the Jeskai version is, because it has that like 1 creature that actually itself draws a card, so it's pretty good. I do want to make one quick game that I saw was the other Gates player. By the way, there were 2 Call Gates players, and both of them made top 8.
Let's go.
I did get to see the other Call Gate player also play it against Elves. I got to see him triple pump a Guardian of the Guild Pact for plus 18 and exactly domed his opponent for 20 damage. I was like,
exactly.
Actual fireball on the board. Unblockable fireball on the board. Love this.
Ooh, spicy.
The deck was fun to play, and I felt like you're fighting a lot for your wins. Like if you couldn't draw out a game, you feel pretty good because like, okay, I got my Bastos game, I'm gonna win eventually. It's just surviving those first few turns can be a little difficult. But Squadron Hawk and Brainstorm came up so many times where it's like I brainstorm, put 2 Squadron Hawks back on top, play a Squadron Hawk, draw those 2 cards. It was so cool. So that was like super fun. Like I enjoyed the deck. I don't know what I'm gonna play next month, but it was really fun.
Cool. Yeah, I also had a great time. I doubt that I will be playing the same thing next month. I think that's kind of the fun of playing these Pauper tournaments is that basically every month, I know you and I both like to try to play something different every month to get a different perspective. And yeah, I will probably try to play something different next month. Probably something that definitely does not lose to all that glitters if I can help it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm excited to brew because next Pauper event, which will be the January monthly, is during my birthday weekend.
Oh,
so I'm very excited for some Pauper on my birthday weekend.
So we have to concede you?
No, no, you don't. You can kick my butt on Pauper.
That's the plan.
Pauper on my birthday. That's fine. Technically it wouldn't be my birthday for a couple days, but I'm really excited. But this just it's really cool to hear. You had like what 26 people, which is like a larger showing, which is pretty sick. Like,
yeah, I walked in that morning, and I was like, she's like, "Are you here for Pauper?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, I'm glad you got in now. You're number 25." And I was like, my eyes just like immediately lit up. I'm like, that is so many people. I'm so happy right now.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm very, very excited to play again. I was in an RCQ. It did not go so well for me, but another member of our team and friend group took it down. So that was pretty sick. But yeah, I'm gonna be there next time. It's gonna be a good time.
I saw a cool at the other LGS where the Pauper tournaments happened. There's an RCQ happening, and they lost power for a little bit longer than we did.
Yes.
And so in the finals, it was 2 of our buddies in the finals.
Yeah.
Both
playing rhinos.
There's a picture of them.
One of them was playing my deck.
Your deck, yes.
I let them borrow
with Hippo tokens
with my
instead
Hippo
of Rhino
tokens.
tokens.
But there's a picture of them playing in the dark with a flashlight in the finals. Like that's pretty cool.
And then I got a phone call from both of them afterwards. One was like, "Yeah, I won with your deck. Thank you for letting me borrow it." The other one was like, "I lost to your deck. Why'd you do that?"
Classic. But anyway, I'm very excited for Pauper coming up next month. I'm really looking forward to it. Also, because it'll be my birthday weekend, so we'll get to have some fun. Maybe go cube after or something like that. But no, this is great. It's got my brain churning. I'm just like, what do I play? Because I could try something, one of these new mono red variants for sure. But I'm kind of itching to play something else. These glitter decks look sweet.
Do it up.
I could try brewing something nice. I don't know. I haven't played Terror. I've been wanting to play Terror in a while, but I don't know how that matches up well against all the glitters. But I don't know. Some stuff to chat about in the next couple of weeks for sure.
And Pauper's definitely like open to brewing like a complete new deck when Pauper Geddon, and out of this our little 26 people locals, that white black enchantment deck I was talking about, they top 8'd.
Yeah,
maybe top 4. I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah, the match he's talking about, the last match that was in the quarterfinals was the Gardens deck against the white black enchantments deck. The white black enchantments player got game 1, Gardens player got game 2, and then the game ended in a draw in game 3 because of Crypt Rats.
Yeah, they were going to lose, so they popped their Crypt Rats.
They popped their Crypt Rats for a draw.
You got to do what you got to do.
And then they went to a game 4, which I did not stick around long enough to find out how that went because I was ready to go.
Yeah, everybody's agreed to split after top 4, so that was nice. And no, that's super. I like the emergency, all right, next game button on Crypt Rats. That's so cool.
It's something we're working on for the RC, which I can say because this will come out after the RC. Of just like,
oh yeah, that's next
causing
weekend.
Yeah, it's coming up this weekend, causing the game to end in a draw to beat the Amalia decks. Though I guess there's some discussion about whether that actually makes it a draw or whether they actually have to lose. I can go off later, but that's not this one.
Oh, got you.
Different topic for later.
Alrighty. Last thing we're going to talk about in this episode is we have some Pauper challenges to go over from MTGO that took place on December 9th and 10th, respectively. I got December 9th, the Saturday challenge, pulled up.
I also have that pulled up.
Awesome. Should we just go reverse order top 8?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
You want to take this one? I'll take the next one.
I'll let you take this one. You got a
take
beautiful
this one?
voice.
Aw. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So, the Saturday Pauper Challenge. In no particular order, in 5th through 8th place, we have Alienware on Orzhov Agro. We have One Big Pin on Golgari Gardens. We have Kerblinzy on Fog, making its historic return. Miskinbalik on Demir Terror. Our semifinalists are Renar on Mono Blue Control, which it looks like it is,
It's a terror
in
deck.
fact, a terror deck. Just checking, make sure it's not a fairies deck that's labeled incorrectly. And ABIJHAVS on Demir Terror. Our finalist is Twister66 on Gates. And in first place, we have Las Vegas Chaos on Azorius Affinity. We have, this looks like a pretty standard Glitters list. They're playing one Phyrexian Walker in the main deck, just so you have one other 0-drop. That's kind of sick, I guess.
So it's just a 0-mana artifact creature. It's a 0/3.
Yeah.
Those of you like me who had no clue what he was talking about.
There are those of you who may know that card by it being represented in a deck called Cheerios.
Yes.
That is where I know that card from. But so yeah, nothing crazy going on here. The Walker is they cut one mine to play this Phyrexian Walker.
Just to make the deck go a little bit faster.
Yeah, it just works with your Spring Leaf Drums. Also, it's good. It's good. It's a good against aggressive cards. It's just an 0/3.
It's a good blocker. It blocks Tomb Raiders.
It sure does.
This Gardens deck too, they had 2 copies of Campfire in it.
Yeah, this is your this is your go long game plan. This card is so sweet. I'm sure I will eventually play that card at some point, and I cannot wait.
This is the first time I saw this weekend was the first time I saw this get pulled up. It's from Commander Legends Baldur's Gate, but that was an uncommon in that set, so I'm not quite sure where it got printed as a common. But it's a 1-mana artifact that you can pay 1, tap it, and you gain 2 life. So if you're playing against these aggro decks, you can, like, if you start stabilizing every turn, start gaining 2 life, which is really cool. You could also pay 2 mana, tap it, exile it, and put all commanders you own from the command zone and from your graveyard into your hand. Then shuffle your graveyard into your library.
I think about half of the sentence was relevant for us.
I didn't even read I didn't know it shuffled your graveyard in your library, so that's really fun.
Probably why it's
that's
there.
the part why it's there.
It's like an elixir of immortality kind of
Basically,
deal.
because that deck just has such a high card velocity, so it'll draw a lot of cards, and eventually you may get to the a mirror match, and you don't want to deck yourself, so you play these Campfires.
It's got to be there for the life. There's 2 of them though.
Yeah. It was printed in common in Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay.
Or no. Sorry. Commander Masters. My bad.
Oh,
Commander
there
Masters.
you go. You're
You're right. You
segment.
just said Baldur's Gate was uncommon. Might be.
It also had a Thangren Marauder in the main deck, which is a 6-mana 5/5 green beast creature that whenever an artifact is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you gain 5 life.
I've been thrashed by this card before.
I think a lot of people have.
I played that card a long time ago in old school Tron in this format.
Dang. Yeah, I remember seeing those pop up in those lists. That's cool. Anything else in particular?
I
notes?
would love nothing more than to talk about this Fog deck that snuck its way into top 8.
Yes.
So I think the very first Pauper tournament at these locals that I got to play, I got to bust out the boogeyman of the day. Everybody was terrified that it was in the room. Everyone was concerned. Everyone gathered around to watch how this thing operated.
I packed my flaring pains.
Nobody was terrified. Everybody gathered around because he was taking up all the time and we had to wait for him to finish his matches. Everybody was terrified of drawing.
If you just know when to concede, there will be no draws.
If all my opponents just conceded me, I would never lose.
I would never go to time.
I did like to play that deck. That deck is very fun. It's fun for me specifically to play because I am not a particularly slow player. I think I'm a fairly quick player, so I can play this deck with a reasonable pace. But I am glad to see it make one of these top 8s this weekend. Spoiler alert: it actually top 8 both challenges.
How's this deck win?
Stream of Thought.
What is Stream of
What
Thought?
is Stream of Thought is a single blue with a replicate of 2 blue. It says you may choose up to 4 cards in your graveyard and put them back into your deck, and target opponent shuffles or mills the top 4 cards of their library.
So you're just trying to mill them out.
Yes, it is a mill deck. But at some point you start to loop your own stream of thoughts because you'll have so few cards left in your deck. You can also mill yourself if you really need to.
Can this beat 2 campfires?
Yeah, because you have counter spells in your deck too. You have like Arcane Denial,
And you can mill the campfires.
yeah, you're also a 4 Weather the Storm in the main deck.
Yep.
But the deck is a blast. I would not recommend this deck if you want to win via combat damage at all. But I actually do want to mention that it did pick up a new card that did recently get a downshift that a lot of people were very happy about in the Murmuring Mystic. It is playing some copies of Murmuring Mystic in the sideboard as a backup way to win, which is a fantastic idea because I know people at one point were trying Tolarian Terror as their backup win condition if they needed it.
The other deck in this top 8 I want to talk about was this Orzhov Blade deck, which is really cool. So it's almost kind of like a mixture of... It's almost like Boros Synth, but it's not Boros at all. It's Orzhov. And so you're playing these Goliath Paladins and Thorn of the Black Rose along with like the Core Skyfisher Glinthawk package. But instead of bouncing back a Synthesizer, I think you're wanting to bounce back these Limbuses or Tithing Blades to make your opponent sacrifice creatures. Super cool.
I played against something like this, when was it? A couple months ago now. I was spending a week in Milwaukee while my girlfriend was in studio with her producer. And I just was looking for some Magic to play one of the nights I was there. And there was a Pauper event and I had Red with me. So I was like, sick, I'll go play some Pauper. And I was 2-0 going into the third and final round. And I played against, there was like, I think there were only 3 2-0s after that, so I got the pair down, and I played against someone on this deck who was like pretty new to Magic in general, and we just had a great time, and he got it in 3 games. There were really close games. If this deck starts like taking off, it's really hard to grind your way back in. This deck is very grindy, kind of similar stuff with like the black spells that Gardens is playing, combined with the white grindy like white bounce creatures that the synthesizer decks will play. This deck it's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet.
And it's funny, we were talking about like, I don't remember if we talked about this on pod, Hippo, you and I, but we were saying like Gardens can almost drop green if something happened and just pick up Goliath Paladin.
Yeah, I think we actually said this on Saturday while in the tournament. I think I mentioned something about it. I was like, yeah, this Gardens deck can just drop these like green cards and play white cards if it really, really wanted to. So they're basically the same thing.
I think this deck would be really cool if you just mash some gates in there too, like play 4 Basilisk gates and play some other gate lands.
I'll vote against that for Defile reasons.
For why? Wait, what do you mean for Defile reasons?
You want to have enough swamps for Defile to be good.
This deck doesn't.
I thought we were talking about the black, like our black white idea that we had. Sorry, my apologies.
No. This top 8 deck, the Orzhov Stoneblade deck, I shouldn't tell them what to do because they top 8 the challenge, not me. But like this would be a really cool deck if you like threw some Basilisk gates in there. I think
the idea of this one is you just kind of want to have a bunch of untapped lands, way more untapped lands than tapped lands.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, it does play like some, like the Orzhov Basilicas and some of the come into play tap lands like the Obscurus Storefront and a couple of utility lands. But the idea is like having a bunch of untapped lands is good. So you can capture 1 and 2 mana cards on time.
I just like Basilisk Gate too much. I think that's my problem.
One other deck in this top 8 that was actually a really cool innovation. We mentioned there was a version of Terror that actually top 8'd. This is a really cool version. It actually moves into Frantic Inventory and Accumulated Knowledge as its card advantage sources.
Is this the mono blue list?
Yes. Also plays Serpentine Curve as a way to have another creature, and Artful Dodge on your Serpentine Curve card. That's very funny.
I played Artful Dodge in Standard at one point.
Oof.
Back in the day.
That couldn't be correct.
It was good when your Nivik Cyclops was had 10 power and you gave it double strike and you made it unblockable. It was really good in my college play group. Another card. This card's nothing to scoff at. It's often overlooked. It's hard evidence that card's actually quite strong. I love the Crab Clue.
That card's the Crab Inspector.
Crab Inspector. Blue Thraben Inspector.
It is Blue Thraben Inspector. Card's really good.
Yeah.
I think that's enough on the Saturday challenge. We can move over to.
I got one note here.
Okay.
Yeah, the semifinalist, the Blue Black Terror list. The other Blue Black Terror list in top 8 is also playing with this card. We got some Murmuring Mystic in the main deck, which I really like as an option. And also with Swift Spear getting the ban and red being powered down just a little bit, they've moved their Unexpected Fangs into the sideboard, so they have a little bit more room to like deal with a wider swath of the metagame instead of having to shore up their red matchup, which was already like a little rough. So I really, really like this list. The Murmuring Mystics give you another angle of attack, and you just get they've got like a Dispel, an Exclude, one Suffocating Fumes. Like they're just like really trying to cover as many bases as possible, and I think Mystic can let them play that grindy game too. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, this almost kind of looks like old school Mystical Teachings decks with all its 1-ofs.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Shall we move on to Sunday?
We can let's move on to Sunday.
Sunday. All right, in no particular order, from 5th to 8th place, we have DJ BMPP, I think Pones. DJ BMP Pones. On Blue-Red Scred, this is another terror list. We have Nick Norman on Golgari Gardens. We have One Big Pin on Golgari Gardens. I believe that is a repeat top 8 finish on the weekend. We have Jose Guillermo on Azorius Affinity. Moving on to our semifinalists, we have Bulls Zero Eye on Koldatha Red. Aster 17 on Golgari Gardens. Our finalist, Ritual Sinkhole on the Fog deck. And in first place, Terminus Zero with Walls Combo. This deck has not been seen as much attention in online results recently. What has led to its return?
So I think the idea here is it also adopted some of what that Pauper deck did in its sideboard. It's just playing a bunch of those like really, really targeted hate cards. It had already kind of played some of those cards before. Played like previously it played cards like Standard Bearer, but playing the more targeted ones like Obsidian Acolyte, Crimson Acolyte, this was really, really good against the like Gardens deck, because Gardens absolutely just eats this deck alive if they have nothing to stop it. Cryptorats is like a hoser, and every single card in your deck is like a removal spell, so they just have like a really hard time. Also, their deck can't attack.
That's a big problem.
So they're like never going to take back the Monarch. They're never going to take back the initiatives.
That's so sick.
But yeah, they just like super targeted hate cards. I think it's definitely their point of success here.
Speaking of Gardens too, two of the three had the campfire technology in there. In the one Gardens deck by Aster 17, they weren't playing campfire and they weren't playing Defile, but they had like the Defile mana base. So I saw that and I thought that was interesting. Like they weren't playing any of the Golgari Rot farms. They weren't playing any Bajuka Bogs. They had like the Swamp. Oh, they had one Bajuka Bog. I'm a liar. And they had two Vault Whispers. I'm going to shut up. They just weren't playing Rot farms. So we had this Gardens list kind of on the snuff outs more traditionally, which might be pretty okay. That mono red's on a bit of a downtick. So I'm kind of wondering if I'm kind of torn between snuff out and Defile and Gardens now. Like, I don't know which one belongs in a deck now. That mono red's not popular, and the snuff out's nice to kill the
Glitters creatures
100% because I don't control 16 swamps.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you really just like wanted to, you and the cool thing about that Gardens deck, I know we love talking about Gardens on this podcast, is that you can tune that deck kind of to fit whatever thing you're trying to beat for the weekend. It's pretty good at that. It's got a lot. It's just black green good cards. There's a lot of interchangeable cards here.
Gunn, do you have any thoughts on Gardens while we're talking about Gardens?
I mean, it's a good deck. It's showed up. It keeps showing up, and it keeps proving that it has a place in the metagame.
Right. So let's dive deep in this Gardens mana base on the topic for our Gardens podcast today.
Do you play 10 swamps or do you play 12 swamps?
No,
What's better?
I think we meet in the middle.
11. We play 11 swamps. I'd like to chat about this red deck. We have the 4 copies of the new Goblin Tomb Raider, which is excellent, which means we're definitely leading more into the artifacts. We have 4 Great Furnace in the mana base. We have 1 Autonomous Furnace, which I will just say that and leave that there. They're also playing 3 Seal of Fires in the main, which is pretty sick when you combine that with the Goblin Blast Runner, which gets pumped whenever you have, as long as you've sacrificed a permanent on that turn. So Seal of Fire is another sweet, just 1 mana. It's just a shock that can, proc your Blast Runner. That's pretty sick. And they also are on 3 Mutagenic Growths. as just extra velocity, and 1 goblin grenade.
I like that. That's spicy.
12 of their 16 creatures are goblins. This is the Blast Runners, the Bushwhackers, the Tomb Raiders, and then they also have the 4 Epicures because the blood token is very important.
Plus those rebirths too.
That's right. Those are goblins too. Yeah, you're right. So they have 12 they have 24 individual goblins if you count 1 called out the rebirth as 3 goblins.
I want you to take a look at that mana base and tell me what you think about it.
Oh, I made a note about the autonomous furnace. I'm just gonna leave that there. I disagree.
Just gonna glance over
but
it.
at least this deck is playing great furnaces. The other one was not, and that was egregious to me. But I digress.
A cool card in their sideboard, they decided to go with 3 Rays for this tournament. Mm-hmm. That was a pretty sweet idea. I think they just don't want to lose to like Gates, pretty much.
Yeah, Gates is a really tough matchup.
Do you bring in the raises against Ponza for the Utopia Sprawls?
No.
I was like, I don't think we've had this conversation.
I don't think I can afford to sacrifice my lands against the Stone Rain deck.
And I know you typically like to play a lot of the sack land spells, like a lot of copies of Fire Blast, copies of Molten Collapse, and such like that. So
yeah. So extra raise is a little dicey, but I like this list. This list looks fun. No notes other than the furnace.
The Glitter's Affinity deck that was in top 8 too. I noticed they had the Standard Bearers, they had the Crimson Acolytes, but no Obsidian Acolytes in the sideboard. They had 2 Dust to Dust and 2 Pyroblast instead. So kind of a lot more vulnerable to that Gardens deck.
Yeah, which is probably why they probably lost to it in the semis.
I wonder if they're just hedging more towards Affinity Mirrors and stuff, which is probably not a bad idea, but I don't know. I feel like the Obsidian Acolyte's pretty good.
Yeah, that puts Gardens on having to have exactly Drake, Drown, and Sorrow to get rid of it. Or if whatever their Wrath of Choice may be. So
what is Azure Fleet Admiral?
Oh, those are Monarch cards.
It's a Monarch card in the Scred list. Okay.
That was the deck I was looking at right now. I do want to talk about this deck. I think
it's
this
a
deck,
feat tribal deck.
I have almost pulled the trigger on this deck multiple times. It does look very, very sweet.
Fleet.
So it plays a couple of the Commander Legends card, or Commander Masters card, sorry. Or is it Commander Legends?
Which card?
Which was the fleet creatures?
It's a Commander Legends.
Okay. Commander Legends creatures. This is just a blue-eye control deck. Its like backup plan is to like win with Terror. You can like power out a Terror, or it doesn't really need to power out a Terror. It just can have a Terror, and it's just good. It's just good to cast like at any point in the game. A 5/5 with Ward 2 is just good.
Has those Murdering Mystics too.
It does have Murdering Mystic in the main deck. I think this might be. I think either this or the Familiars deck are like the 2 premier Murdering Mystic decks, I think, in the format. I think this deck is way better at keeping the Monarch than probably any other deck, if I had to guess. I think it almost might even beat out Gardens in that aspect, because it just makes so many tokens off of Murdering Mystic. You can just get it back in there and retake or keep it or retake it really easily.
And you can see the sideboard slots being really freed up with 5 blue blasts instead of 8.
Yes, I would agree with that. And you have this allows you to have flexible cards like Cast into the Fire. And one more card I want to talk about in sideboard. It's a really cool card. Is Goblin Wizardry.
I was just looking at this.
I think we all were.
For those who do not know what Goblin Wizardry does, it is a common from M21, 3 in a red. Create 2 1/1 red wizard goblin creature tokens with prowess. So if you need to turn the corner and be way more aggressive on top of these fleet creatures, this is a good card for that.
The art's sick on it too.
The art is really sick on it.
It's pretty funny. Goblins being goblins.
Yeah, this deck also gets to play its kind of own version of Defile. It plays Scred. This is a Scred deck, which is pretty sweet.
Scred deck wins.
Yeah, is it 2015?
Did you also mention the Accumulate Knowledge in there?
No, I did not.
4 of those. That's cool. I just noticed that. That's really cool.
Actually, I think technically, if you're playing one or the other, I think is correct to play Frantic Inventory. Because if your opponent is also playing Accumulated Knowledge, then you don't want your opponent drawing extra cards too.
But then you can draw extra cards.
Yeah, but I think the only other deck that's realistic to try and play, obviously, we saw the innovation in the blue Terror deck, but I think the only other real Accumulated Knowledge deck in the format is actually the Turbo Fog deck.
What a fun finals. Turbo Fog versus
Walls
I
combo.
know.
What a very uninteractive finals, I must say.
for real.
It's two ships passing in the night.
Not
Every
really-
single one of those fogs in their deck looks real embarrassing.
That's what I was about to say. I feel like that favors. I think it shook out this way, but I think that heavily favors the Walls combo deck.
I cannot
Against
see Turbo Fog winning that.
No, I mean, at least certainly not with the main deck configuration. Like, your Weather the Storms are not gonna really do anything here.
I think specifically with on this particular challenge, the one on Saturday, that player had actual breath weapons in their main deck, so that actually can help quite a bit there.
That's fair.
So it's just a simple red splash. It's basically, I believe, only in that match or for breath weapon in the main and potentially some copies of Pyroblast on the board.
Cool.
Is that a wrap, fam?
I think that's a wrap, everyone. I think it was a lot of stuff to go on, a lot of results to talk about.
Well,
Yeah.
Pauper. Yeah, lots of decks, lots of cards being thrown at you, hot and heavy. Alrighty, if you made it this far, you're awesome. You rock. Leave us like a sick review, and there should be like a thing on Spotify that says, "Tell us how you liked about the episode," and something. Maybe I'll change it one day to something different, but put something in there. Tell us something. All right, peace out, everybody.
Cool.
Later, everyone.
Thanks, man. Peace out.
Well,
I don't have.
the silence. I can't let there be silence without.
That's what
laughing.
the editing is for.
I know. I just break down.